everyone. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Parker, and this channel is where I read stories. If you have yet to watch any of my previous episodes on this channel, on this series, I do heavily suggest you do, as we are on chapter 23 and 24 out of 38, I want to say. So, we are fairly far along. I do apologize if you hear my dog barking in the background. He's loud. um, and I am going to apologize in advance for Roman's voice, as he's heavily used in this specific episode. Anything else that I have to say will be saved for the end. So, without further ado, this is Nothing Left to Lose by Shawnee VFX. That's Shawnee VFX. Chapters 23 and 24. Chapter 23. Virgil's Point of View. Day 20. At some point the next day, I'm woken up to find that I fell asleep in a ball on the floor. Another knock sounds. Virgil, if you have yet to leave your room due to the possibility of Roman, I assure you he has already left for the day, Logan says from the other side. Right. Yelling, traitorous accusations, panic attack. Instead of responding, I get up to change clothes to at least attempt to look like a functioning human being. Once I'm sure that Logan has left the hallway, I leave my room, making a beeline for the bathroom. My eyes are slightly puffy from the tears I'm sure were streaming down my face during my panic attack. I could be hopeful and think that Logan wouldn't notice the general splotchiness of my face, but he's one British accent away from being Sherlock freaking Holmes. He's clearly pretty dense when it comes to emotions, like how has he not noticed Patton's crush on him, but he still has working eyes. Honestly, I'm not positive about that, sir, considering the fact that, he wears glasses, but it's okay. So I'm probably just gonna hide in my room for most of the day. Not a bad plan, seeing as the living fire hazard could come home at any second. I go back into my room, staring at the recently burnt hoodie, and decide to examine the damage. A large hole was made by the fire, and I subconsciously rub my arm where his hand was. It hurt. I didn't actually get burnt at all, but it hurt. In more ways than one. I really really like Roman, and he thought I betrayed them. He thought I'd turn against them, that I've just been lying this whole time. I'm not a traitor. I'm not a liar. I'm not... Breathe, okay? Just breathe. I don't need a panic attack 2 days in a row. Virgil, are you adequate? I have not seen you leave your room all day, Logan says. I do not wish to invade your privacy, but if you do not answer, I would have to assume the worst and check on you with or without your permission. Well, do you think I'm a traitor? I ask him. If he agrees with Roman, then there's no point in me talking to him. He opens my door. Didn't realize I invited him in, but whatever. At first seeing those blueprints were quite incriminating, but I did not jump to conclusion like Roman tends to do, especially considering your reaction to being accused of collaborating with Deceit and the Duke. I'd be inclined to at least give you the benefit of the doubt and hear your reasoning for having the congruency plans, he explains, standing in the doorway. Like I said, I went out for a walk without Roman knowing, and Deceit and Duke found me during it. Deceit tried to use his powers to make me translate them, so I fought back and ran away, I tell him, fiddling with the undamaged part of my hoodie sleeve. Well, you've given me no reason to doubt you, and you probably would have fled if attacking us was your plan, so... He pauses, looking for the right word. I trust you on this. I smile slightly. Thanks, Logan. Roman's point of view. Let's see. Patton's shift ends in half an hour, so I should hopefully have enough time to convince him to help me. He did seem pretty mad last night and refused to talk to me this morning. Maybe this plan is a little more hopeless than I first thought. Oh, hey, Roman. Are you here to see Patton? Hey, Daniel. Yeah, just don't tell him it's me. I request. He nods hesitantly and goes to the back room, coming back with Patton soon after. What are you doing here? He asks when he sees me, frowning slightly in an attempt to look mad. I sigh. Patton, please let me explain. He turns away, ignoring me. Can we talk? He continues to ignore me, so I hop over the counter and drag him into the back room. I get it, Pat. I messed up. I jumped to conclusions and hurt Virgil because of it. So are you going to help me or not? You never even considered that Virgil was innocent. That's why I'm angry. You just assumed the worst. You just assumed that he was like your brother, Patton said angrily, struggling to keep his voice down. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gone there. I'm just upset. What's your plan to fix this? I don't know. I figured you would know how I could make it up to him. Oh, well, I'm sure we can come up with something together, he says, thankfully back to his usual cheery nature. You burnt his jacket pretty bad. You could buy him a new one? He suggests hopefully. I don't think that's a great idea. No offense, but that jacket means a lot to him. Why else would he wear it so much? I pointed out, trying to come up with my own idea. Patton smiles knowingly. What? You really do care about him, don't you? He says, causing me to blush. What gives you that idea? I ask, my voice cracking an embarrassing amount of times. That was so hard to get it to crack right. He giggles. You were so worried that he may have betrayed us because you didn't want another person, the son you cared about, to be bad. You thought he might be like Remus, so you tried to protect us and your feelings by refusing to let him explain. He smiles sadly at me. That actually sounds pretty accurate and therapist-like. And now I've royally screwed up with him, I summarize. Didn't mean it like that, Patton says quickly. Sure, you've got some apologizing to do, but once you explain your reasoning, he won't be able to really blame you unless he's the biggest hypocrite ever. Thanks, Pat. That really helped. No problem. He starts. I've got it! I exclaim, knowing, or at least having an idea, on how to fix this. Literally. I can just fix up his hoodie, like with some fabric and a sewing machine. That could work. Just ask him for permission first. If that hoodie really means a lot to him, you wouldn't want to make it worse, he points out. Right. Thanks, Pat. I call, already making my way to the exit. It's not like I could make things worse, right? Chapter 24. Roman's point of view. First things first, it's getting the hoodie, since I don't want to buy fabric for nothing. That, and I want to try to find the same fabric, so he'll hopefully forget that I burnt it in the first place. Eventually, I drive back over to the apartment, hoping to whatever gods I can name that he'll talk to me, or at least let me talk to him. Once inside, I see Logan and Virgil on the couch. Be cool, be cool. Hey, Virgil, can we talk? Oh, great, awkward and not at all me. Great approach. He pauses, clearly considering just retreating to his room. He even looks to Logan for help. Logan! If he and Patton weren't meant to be together, I'd be dying of jealousy. For now, I'm just dying of heart-crushing relationship-ruining guilt. I would suggest you let him talk despite his anger issues. My what? Roman is a good person. I think that's the nicest thing he's ever said about me. That's sad. There's not much I want to say right now, but will you allow me to take your hoodie to fix my mistake? Logan and Virgil look at me slightly confused. Literally. Logan nods and turns back to his book. What do you mean? He asks cautiously. I want to take your hoodie so I can fix it up since I kind of burnt it, I explain awkwardly. He looks unsure, but his hoodie floats out to us in the living room, landing in Virgil's lap. I really owe Logan a thank you after this. Even after everything, do you trust me enough to fix my mistake? I got this from the woman who basically raised me. Don't make it worse, he says slowly, holding out the hoodie. Who? You know what? I'll ask later when we're on better terms. Don't yell in triumph. Don't yell in triumph. He's gonna think you're a weirdo, which you are, but he doesn't have to know doesn't have to know that yet. He's been fighting you for years, honey. I think he knows. But I guess you do you, babes. Thank you, Virgil. I take the hoodie and grab my keys, deciding to worry about not knowing the location of a fabric store later. Phones do exist for a reason, so worst case, I sit out in my car for 10 minutes trying to locate and get directions to the nearest place. There's one only 10 minutes away, so hopefully I can get right to fixing it, especially since I'll probably have to hand sew it. At some point, I'll have to thank my abuela for forcing me to learn how to sew in the first place. I look all over the store for a matching fabric, but I'm unsuccessful. I even went around a second time and asked a really nice worker if they had a similar fabric. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Maybe I should have looked first before getting the hoodie. Wait, some purple plaid fabric catches my eyes. It may not be the same color or pattern, but it would look good with the jacket, especially if I can make it look like it's meant to be part of the hoodie. Roman, you freaking genius. I'll probably walk back into Deja Brew with the jacket fabric needle and thread. Despite being the fashion expert of the group, I'm really nervous about this, and who better to reassure me than Patton? Plus, I don't feel like working in my room. I already spend my work days there, and there's no way I'm ruining the surprise. Well, he already knows I'm fixing it, and knowing his opinion on the fabric would be great before I started. Well, I'm already here, and if he hates it, then I can just redo it, which would just show how dedicated I am to fixing this. I'm actually starting to think this will work. Not that I doubted my amazing idea, but I don't know Virgil overly well or how he'd react. Sorry, I thought I saw something change. That's why I paused. I was like, am I already that far? No. Hey, Roman, how'd it go? Patton asks from over the counter. I wanted your advice before I started, since I couldn't find the exact fabric, I explain. He makes grabby hands. Gimme! I show him the fabric. I figured I could use this to make a couple patches. Make it look more natural than just covering up the burn, I explain. That sounds great, he exclaims happily, ushering me into the back to work. Oh, and do you want anything to drink? No thanks, Pat. I'm good, I assure him, grabbing everything out of the bag. He nods and goes back to the front, leaving me to work in peace. I may be doing this for Virgil, but damn, I forgot how boring sewing can be. Music isn't really an option without possibly annoying Patton's customers, and I don't need him mad at me again. So like any normal person, I recite the entire first act of Hamilton in my head like a play. Logan may be the smart one, also that's so nerdy, but no one can deny my talent of memorizing musical scripts. By the time I get to the 10 dual commandments, if you guys don't know that reference, you guys hurt me. Anyway, I finished repairing the jacket. I pop up from the break room couch and head out in front of the restaurant. Finished already? Patton asks as I pass by. Yes, hopefully he'll like it, I say. Wait, I want to see his reaction, Patton exclaims, tossing his hat and struggling to pull off his apron, not bothering to untie it. He rushes out from behind the counter and we head to my car. I drive us both back, anxious for once in my life. Well, no, I'm anxious during auditions and occasionally when roles are announced. We get into the apartment, Patton basically bouncing in excitement. Logan, without looking up, speaks. If you are looking for Virgil, he is in his room. Patton happily pushes me towards his room, standing right behind me as I knock. Yeah? Virgil, I finished fixing your jacket, I announce. He opens the door reluctantly, relating for me to do something. I pull the jacket out of the bag, holding it up to him. He takes it and examines it for several agonizing seconds as I fight against the urge to hide in my closet. That's gay. What do you think? I ask, sounding cautious and hopeful. He puts it on, which is a good sign, right? It's really cool. I'm surprised you didn't make it overly bright and musical related. He smiles slightly, but I can still see his fear. I figured you wouldn't like it to be too bright and have people know that you like musicals, I say, relieved. I'm happy you two made up, patting Squirrels, and hugging us both before running off. I smile at his peppiness and turn to go to my room, pausing for a second. I'm glad you like it, and I hope you can forgive me. I just didn't want you to be a second Remus. Then why'd you immediately assume the worst and attack me? Oh, shoot, he's really mad. Because I couldn't risk Logan or Patton getting hurt, I told him, suddenly very interested in the ground. Remus basically up and left my life when he went off to college. Finding out after all this time that he was the Duke really hurt. And I didn't want to give you the chance to hurt us in the same way, though it wouldn't have been worth much had you actually been a traitor. I just lost control. I'm sorry. I can't blame you, but I can't lie and say it's perfectly fine when it's not. And what's that? The sound of my dreams being crushed? Thanks, though. This means a lot. He gestures towards the jacket. Overjoyed, I wrap him in a tight hug. Knowing I probably overstepped my boundaries, I quickly let him go, laughing awkwardly as I go to my room. I slump down against the door, wearing a stupid, lovesick smile. Oh my Disney, I'm so gay. I do hope you guys enjoyed today's installment. I did get an update on Blood Bond just barely, and I'm very excited to state that we will be reading Blood Bond soon. I'm very, very, very excited to do this. As soon as the story is over, I'm going to be reading you guys Blood Bond, and I'm so excited about it, guys. This is one of my favorite stories that I've ever read in my entire life, other than the story that I'm reading you guys now. Also, with Blood Bond, I have asked to read you guys a story called Unexpected Lovers. It is a little crude and will have me constantly telling you guys trigger warnings, but so is Blood Bond. I will definitely be starting off every episode with both of those with a trigger warning if I do get told I'm allowed to do Unexpected Lovers. I'm very, very excited to do Blood Bond for you guys. I did talk to the creator of Blood Bond, and we agreed on it. So I'm very happy about that. I'm going to try and find some more stories, hopefully by similar people who will allow me to use their amazing works for my channel. I do have a very busy schedule, so I am doing my best to get this all set up before school starts back up, because as soon as school is started back up, I'm going to have less time to look for these stories and look for like all of this and whatever. And I'm just nervous about it. So I do hope everything works out in the end, but even if it doesn't, I think I found us another story that I do think I want to read to you guys, despite that it's out of format from how I usually have stories. I think you guys will like that one as well. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. A lot of these stories play on my personal ships, because I'm not a huge fan of, what is it? I'm sorry. Ducey? I don't know. I have no idea And I'm not a big fan of, not Intralogical. I love Intralogical. I don't like Patton X Logan, and I don't like Remus X Janice, but I'm huge on Moseat and Intralogical, so I have found some stories about that I can hopefully read to you if I can talk the people into it. I tend to be very formal, so I'm hoping that I can. um, I'm I'm very excited about this, guys. Like, it's hard to explain, but these are people who I've read their stories for a long time now. I've fallen in love with all of their stories, and I genuinely am very happy to be able to use their stories. I'm not sure if either of them are going to end up checking out my videos in order to see if they want to allow me to use their stories. But if they do, thank you guys so much for being kind and allowing me to use your stories in this way. I am absolutely in love with your stories, and even though I write, I don't think I could write as well as you guys do. With Blood Bond, it almost feels like you're reading a genuine book, and so I'm very excited to share that one with you. But that's how all of their work is, so if you like Blood Bond, you should check out all of their work, because all of their work is phenomenal. And I chose Blood Bond because it was the first one I ever read, and I might eventually ask if I can use different ones of their stories. I know this is all a lot to take in, but I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to read these stories to you guys. So with that being said, I also couldn't do this without my viewers who are watching right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next week. Bye!